Thanks for having us here today.
My pleasure, Linda.
Tell us a little bit about what you do here. I'm Linda Jurek with Visit Cook County Executive Director, and we are doing Foodie Fridays. Pretty excited to be at Lutsen Resort today. So tell us a little bit about your role here.
Okay, my name is Mark Lindsay. I'm the Director of Food and Beverage here. And my role is pretty much anything to do with food and beverages, either my fault or my responsibility. We do, that goes with banquets, the dining room, the pub. We do stuff on the beach. We also do stuff on the pool decks for weddings.
Wow.
So we do a lot of stuff, plus the kitchen is the ultimate responsibility. We have an executive chef, Chris Homiak, but normally he reports to me.
Nice.
So.
That's awesome. So I know we're sitting in a really newly renovated dining room. This is the oldest resort on the north side of the big Gitche Gumee, Lake Superior. Tell us about the renovation and what was the inspiration?
Really, it was we had a new owner in August, Bryce Campbell, and he came in and really wanted to keep the old lodge feel, but update the furniture and the floors and stuff like that. So we tore out all the carpeting, the walls came off, the lamps came out, and this whole wall right here was torn down in order to put this new wall here. And so all that was done.
So Mark, visiting here would not be complete unless we got to walk into
a little tour.
A little tour.
Yes.
So please,
Okay, well come on
take
in.
me closer to the wines.
As you can see, it's temperature controlled, and so it runs at about 55 degrees, and that's ideal storage for all the wines. So if a server came and got a red wine, they would take it out of the table and it would just sit there for a minute or two and be about that 60 degrees that you want to drink your wine. The construction of this wall was actually torn down and then rebuilt with insulation and a vapor barrier so that the room could be air conditioned along with the ceiling. And Patrick Reeves and his team, who are local builders, came in and did all this and really worked with me, because this is my first wine design, and actually everybody who was involved in this, it was their first time building a wine room. So it was a kind of project of hey, what's going to go on?
Very nice.
The panels of birch, and they're actually real birch, are from the birch house, and they do a whole bunch of other different of the edge of the trees, the outside of the trees, the bark, and they will treat them and then put them on plywood and ship it to you in panels. And so that's the background of it. And then the glass is from St. Germain's down in Duluth, and because we were trying to keep it all local, and actually it's their first time they did a wine room. They've done, a lot of glass storefronts and stuff like that, but it has a unique little seal in the middle in between each glass, so that whereas as a wine store, or I'm sorry, as a regular store, it would not have that. That would just be a gap, and so that's all sealed with a little rubber gasket thing.
So Mark, you told us a little bit about the wines, but you specifically mentioned our local wineries. So maybe you want to tell us a little bit about here's North Shore Winery.
So we carry 4 of their labels by the glass. And the labels we carry are their blends, because they make a Cabernet, but I have hundreds of Cabernets, but I don't have the blends that they provide. And actually, one of them is called Lutsen, that is only available here and at the winery, that I actually get to help blend every spring.
Yeah, and Boundary Waters is
right. We have Boundary Waters, we have Caribou, and we have Borealis.
Right.
And so I also have 1 or 2 that are in my special area down at the end that normally you can't get, and people say, hey, do you have something special? And I'll grab it, like their Petit Syrah.
Very nice. And when you're here visiting Lutsen Resort, North Shore Winery is a neighbor.
Yes.
So always fun.
Yeah. We were one of the first ones to carry their wines by the glass, so that was a kind of a fun project. And they also made a special 3-liter bottle for us that no one else has.
Very nice.
What have we here?
Of course. Okay. This is the clams and mussels. Black and whites is normally what they're called. And it is a lemon saffron with garlic and shallots in it, and a little garnish on top.
I've never seen black and whites.
Yeah, and so that's what they're called classically in a restaurant, and this is one of our new appetizers that we'll have on our new menu.
So can we taste it?
Yep. So it got a nice aroma. Go ahead, try some.
I will. And the white.
And they're very nice and light. Like you could sit down and eat this whole pot and not feel like you're full. It's a great appetizer for 2 to 4 definitely.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it's delicious.
Okay, we have our next selection in food and wine pairing. Tell us about it, Mark.
This is the Arctic char. As you can see, it looks a lot like salmon. It's when you look at it, the fish by itself, it looks a lot like salmon. It's more northern. Some come as far as the Canadian Arctic Circle. And so they're super nice. They're a little less oily than, say, a salmon.
Okay.
And then it has basil rice, and then it has a little lemon beurre blanc underneath, and then fresh root vegetables. And there's a little feta cheese on top.
And what wine are we having with this?
We are having the Frog's Leap
Okay.
2016 Chardonnay.
I'm
with
going to
that.
have some food first.
Yeah.
Oh, this looks wonderful.
Now, if you notice, the skin is very crispy. That's one of the unique presentations of this.
Very good. And followed with the wine. All right, I think we're ready for our third
Yep,
and
of
final. Save the best for last, did we,
Yep.
Mark? What is this?
This is the farm-raised elk chop that we have, bone-in chop. And it's made with red skin smashed potatoes, not mashed, smashed with Parmesan cheese and grilled asparagus. And it has a little beurre noisette, which is a brown butter. It's finished with brown butter.
Beurre noisette.
Beurre noisette means hazelnut
Okay.
in French. So beurre noisette, so it's hazelnut colored butter, or you could say brown butter. Same
Oh,
thing.
and what do we have here?
This is
Oh,
the
this
Camus
is the
Special
Camus.
Select. So now we offer regular Camus, and we have a couple other wines made by the Wagner family vineyards, farms, in California, Napa, California. We have some other lesser expensive wines, but all fantastic wines.
Okay.
And so,
Can I taste the
Yeah.
wine right away? Is that like?
and so you want to swirl a little bit?
I swirl. and
Easiest
swirl.
way is on the table. You
Oh,
don't have
that
to worry
makes
about
sense.
and you're trying to add air to it.
Spilling.
Often we do decant wine. This one is in a Cruvenet, so it adds some air to it. But normally we decant the wine. The more expensive ones, it adds air to it. So that's what you're trying to do, is make the wine open up.
Okay.
So it's a very full-bodied Cabernet. Got a lot of depth to it. Goes on for days.
That is absolutely spectacular.
So now the elk is sous vide, which means it's vacuum sealed and put in a water tank for about 40 minutes at 145 degrees. And so it gently cooks it, and then at the end he sears it and finishes it a little bit in the oven and bring it back to temperature. So that's up to me. So sous vide is a way to do cooking where it doesn't make the meat as tight, or you're trying to break down the meat very slowly.
And this is a new menu item.
This is a new menu item. Yep, we just put this on. This is actually the first time I've seen it actually plated.
Really?
I tasted the meat, but we played it.
So where do you get that inspiration for the new menu items? Is it just?
A lot of times, the owner will give us a parameters of, hey, I want to fuse Swedish cooking with the North Shore,
Nice.
and so that's kind of, or northern area. Like elk is obviously not from Minnesota,
Right.
but it's when you think of a northern lodge, you think of elk and pheasant
Right.
is one of the other items we have on the menu, and so that was kind of the inspiration. And not a lot of people do elk up here,
That's wonderful.
so we're very.
And that's Bryce Campbell, right? Our new owner?
Yes, it is.
That's so wonderful. So let's try
So I'll
it.
let you take. You want me to go ahead?
yeah,
You
no.
take the first cut.
Take a little cut off there.
And so it is extremely lean meat. So it has a
good bite
tiny
for
bit
me.
more chew to it than it would of, say, something like a high-end steak. But it's got some great flavor that goes along with the Cabernet.
Wow.
So
That's really good.
try that little guy just for fun.
It's delicious. I have to try a little bit of the, what is this now? Smashed. Smashed, not mashed.
Right. And so the potato
I love that.
is cooked, boiled, and then they're just pushed down in the grill and heated up, and then have Parmesan cheese on top.
Yummy. Bon appetit. So yummy.
And just a little shout out for everybody who helped make this possible. Please introduce yourselves.
Chris Homiak, Executive Chef.
Edward Venegas, Restaurant Manager.
Lily Nelson Peterson, Visica County. And cheers to Vic, Marketing Manager, Visit Cook County. Thank you again.
Enjoy Foodie Friday.